I just wanted to give us a little video about literacy shed responses. Okay, we've been doing them for a couple weeks now, and we're noticing that some students are really hitting the mark and really meeting expectations for our grade 6 level. And so I just wanted to go through some and show you what is really working for some people and kind of what us grade 6 teachers are looking for as we are going through and giving you some feedback and some assessment. All right? Okay. So here's one. Remember that these are all examples and excerpts from your classmates' work. So these are all grade 6 students at MAK who have written these responses over the past couple weeks. And I just pulled a couple and compiled this and thought I'd explain to you a couple other things. There it is. So the first thing we're looking at is Lily and the Snowman, okay? Now, what I want you to notice from Lily and the Snowman is, first of all, just how much has been written. Okay, there is a lot of information here, and I can really tell. Oh, someone's up in the house. I can really tell that this particular student took a lot of time to respond to this particular video. Okay, there's so much information here. I can really see that they took that recommended about 15-ish minutes to respond, and they've done a really excellent job. Okay. The other thing I want you to notice within this particular video or this particular excerpt is how many times this student refers back to the video that they watched. So if I just read this first question, I noticed throughout this film that whenever Lily goes to visit the snowman receives tons of joy. So they're referring back to the video that they just watched. His face every time Lily appears is consistently happy, as if he just won the lottery. I think he feels as if they are family, or at the very least, best friends. The reason I get this idea is because, one, he suddenly puts on the biggest and brightest smile ever when Lily appears. The second reason I have is because whenever the kind snowman can tell Lily is having a splendid time, he does that thing even more. No matter how much work it is, he still does it because it really makes Lily happy. It sort of becomes a tradition, I guess you could say. Okay? So really referring back to the video a couple times, okay, saying, okay, at this part of the video, I saw him do this. At this part of the video, I saw him do this. Okay. Of course, I will share this with some highlights on the Google Classroom so you can go back and take some time to read on your own. Right? So for the clock tower, this particular student, again, notice that for all three questions, they have written a lot of information. There's not just a one sentence and I'm done. There's at least 4 to 5 sentences or really long sentences that explain their understanding and their connections and their responses to the video. And that's another really great thing that we're kind of looking for, one more quality that makes your writing and your responses even better. Okay. Something else that this particular writer is doing is making connections to their life. All right. So, like, I personally would not want to go and live in the clock tower spinner my whole life. And you could tell she didn't want to either. But when she saw a balloon, it made her want to, which would not be good as there was no time. Okay. So, referring back, oh, and if this was me, this is how I would feel about this particular situation. Okay. The next ones I've just taken little points, just one question from each of these responses, just to give you another idea. So from the present, the question was, what was the author's purpose or the moral of the story? Now, this particular student clearly wrote a lot of information for their response. And I also want you to just note here that they included more than one idea. So they didn't just stop their thinking at one idea. They thought, is there another lesson? Maybe I could pull another lesson from this particular video. So what I think the moral of the story is, learn about or do something with it before judging it, referring to that boy and his puppy. And then he goes on and kind of talks about some personal connections. And then here they say, another moral of the story could be thankful and happy for what you get, right? So again, more than one idea in their video or in their response. Finally, from Before Sunrise, the question was, how do we know that one or more of the characters is unhappy? And this particular student wrote, I know when the characters are unhappy, even though there are no words. I can tell when they are sad or unhappy because of their facial expressions. Now the student's response goes into a little generalization based on life experiences. When the candle was sad, I knew it was because it was crying. And usually, when someone leaves and then someone is crying, it means they're sad. So, this particular student is responding to the question and then explaining their ideas a little more. Okay, so just some tips for you to consider as you are continuing on with your literacy shed responses. Have fun. Miss you. Bye.